What do you guys want to talk about?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all. St. Louis.
Welcome to the A-Train Show. And now here's your host, the A-Train, Arlington Lane.
Yeah, true chatter. Yeah, I think it's time for more true chatter. Born every day 100 new fake rappers. We got too many powers, too many actors. But us brothers only good for entertainment. Lack.
Welcome to this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane, coming to you live from the Fuel Studios here. And it is a big game WWE Raw Aftermath. There's a lot that went on this past weekend, even yesterday when we had the whole Raw, WWE Raw, Monday after the big game, and then we had Luka Doncic first game with the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's hard for me to say. That's interesting because somebody's saying that I'm not up on X, but I have it here where I am up. You might need to refresh that page. Refresh it right now and check in with us right now as we're speaking. I am flying solo today. The good Reverend Doctor will not be in. He's handling some personal business, and that's understandable. So here we are, folks. If you are unable to catch the show on the YouTube channel, on the Twitter, you can always check us out on our YouTube channel. So definitely you can find me there, and we can get this bad boy up and running. Let's see, I've seen some people, someone say, I can't see you. I'm here. Let me do this. If you can't, John, see me. Yeah, I gotta do this real fast. And just let you know, it's UFL season. Football does not need to end. Does not need to end in February. All right. Granted, it was a fantastic game. I think it was one of the better Super Bowls on hand. You know, we saw a beatdown that happened from the beginning of the game. I'm going to be honest, when I watched the game, mind you, I was at work and I was trying to find out how in the hell am I going to be able to see what's going on while I got customers. But I was able to check it out. And then I missed the first score. I missed Eagles scoring on the first drive. And you could tell Nick Sirianni looked like he was incensed from start to finish, like he didn't get any freaking sleep the night before. Like he just had beat the Chiefs, burned into his brain. And, that's fine, because they got the job done. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. And we can sit here all day saying that 40-22 score it seemed like it was way more than that, because even though Mahomes had threw 3 touchdowns, those last 2 didn't mean as much, but at the same time, they were significant, because he was really trying to get him back in the game. But it was too little too late. And that's what it is sometimes, man. That was a total beatdown of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I never would have saw that coming, just due to the history of Patrick Mahomes and him playing in the Super Bowl. Usually a close game, but it just goes to show you that close games do make great Super Bowls, but that Chiefs team ain't as dominant as you think they are. But we knew this. We knew this stuff, right? Y'all understood that this group wasn't a dominant team. It was always about the moments where they could make plays, and that could be the game ender for it all. Like whether it was a sack, whether it was a fumble on defense, whether it was an interception. And then for the offense, it always be a play to and that's the thing. Didn't have a real true wide receiver. Granted, you got Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins that came into the mix this past year, right? And a lot of them are being looked at as no longer number 1 receivers in the game. And you got Xavier Worthy, who's a speed guy, had a fantastic ball game. Forgive me for not, like all playoff long, I was using him for parlays and stuff, and did not use him at all. Like, I didn't think he was going to, I thought the moment was going to be too big for him. And for him to have 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards in the Super Bowl, goes to show you that kid is going to be something special year in and year out, as long as he's a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's that. But like really, it's just mind-boggling to me how well the Eagles was able to subdue Patrick Mahomes. Now you can make the excuse that they didn't have the offensive line, but that's the thing. You put them out there. If you place them out there, that's what you're going to get. And so Sirianni and that crew had to be completely incensed on making sure that Patrick Mahomes did not have a great game. And don't hide on that page, man. I get it. Yes. Don't hide on your page, though. Worthy is going to be, come on out, because you need to get this smoke too. ReviewSTL.com. I know who that is. He need to come out, show his face. Because you deserve this heat too. And I was grateful for it last week picking the Eagles. But I was not completely, during the game, I wasn't completely convinced, especially when Jalen Hurts threw that interception. And I think that's what gets lost in the sauce when they talk about the game, because granted, Jalen Hurts did have a great game, but let's not forget about the interception he threw when it was 7-0. And I was like, that's just all the Chiefs need to get back into the game. But then when they were able to crowd the line and they were able to subdue Patrick Mahomes, that he couldn't even leave the pocket. So that was nothing but a phenomenal job by the Eagles in game planning for Patrick Mahomes for the most part. For 3.5 quarters, they held him to 6 points. And not to mention, somebody mentioned it on, I think it was Sports Center radio last night, that the Chiefs had 23 yards while the Eagles had 24 points. It kind of let you know how the game was going. But I was like, I'm not convinced yet until the third quarter. The third quarter was going to let me know what that game was looking like. When they only scored 6 points, I was like, okay, well, it's looking like Chiefs are the Chiefs are in trouble. We was hoping that they would be prepared, but they got pounced on left and freaking right. And that is how you subdue a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. And whether you want to blame the offensive line on the game, whatever, you got to give the Eagles credit for preparing for him. And it was like everybody was incensed. Beat the Chiefs, beat the Chiefs, beat the Chiefs. And I'm grateful for Saquon Barkley right now. If you are a Giants fan, you should be wanting to climb into MetLife Stadium and go after that general manager for saying we do not want anything to do with Saquon Barkley anymore. Because in 1 year's time, and I guess you can tell that was the difference between a Super Bowl participant and a Super Bowl winner. That is the difference there. Because Saquon did everything he needed to do to help this team win a Super Bowl. And I got to give credit to this Eagles organization for believing in Saquon Barkley and for utilizing Jalen the way that he should be utilized. And you'll probably find something on me that's saying that I wasn't a big believer of Jalen Hurts. Oh, yeah, he got everybody. Everybody. I care less about their fans. Right now, their fans is going to do whatever they do in Philly, especially when every time they win a championship, whether it's ball or football, because they damn sure can't win it in basketball, and they damn sure can't win it in hockey. Hockey has a greater chance of doing it than basketball at this point because their basketball team, since we're going to go there, the basketball team is in much disarray to the point where it might be time for Joel Embiid to leave. Like, how are you going to go into a game and you're going to go after one of your teammates saying he ain't playing defense when you're not playing defense? Does anybody want that headache with Joel Embiid at this point? There's some team that's going to say so. I mentioned the baseball team. I said the Phillies have at least won a championship in the last 20 years. So, and I ain't got nothing against the Phillies. I just hate the fact that the Phillies have now defined what Red October is, and that used to be the Cardinals thing. But considering where the Cardinals are headed, the Phillies deserve the Red October, the moniker Red October. But that's the problem. And things going to have to change at some point. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. They deserved every bit of that. Like, that game was exactly what they were supposed to do, and they did that. And there's no comparing that. I understand those are Chiefs losses, and Mahomes is now 3-2 in the Super Bowl. And I think it hurts his legacy a little bit that you've had blowout losses in the Super Bowl. I understand that the teams that you faced three organizations in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that is the worst beating that they have taken. You know what? It would have been something if the Eagles would have kept him completely off the board, if they didn't throw a touchdown at all. But, he threw three of them. And granted that those were in the last three. And that's the thing. I don't think this game hurts Patrick Mahomes. Now, I heard on the radio that this could be the end of the legacy. Where? I understand that there's going to be some futures are in store for the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. What is Travis Kelce going to do? What is Andy Reid going to do at this point? Steve Spagnuolo is not going anywhere. Steve Spagnuolo don't even need to be the head coach of this team. Like, he needs to get, and I hate to even throw that out there, but he got to be passed over unless he's going to find a complete offensive coordinator that's going to run the entire offense and that he doesn't do a lick with that offensive group. And I understand that it ain't the end, but it also could be. Let's not sit here and just say this is not the end or this is the end. It could be. I'm not saying that it is, but it could be. But I don't think the way that the Chiefs is set up right now, that they still have pieces that can make this team get back to the Super Bowl. And that's what's going to be the interesting thing here. And what is it going to take to get back? Is it going to be a time for them to fall off a bit? Like I said, I heard these on the radio. It intrigued me. Will it be a time where they fall off and now other teams will rise to the occasion to get into the Super Bowl? What does this mean for Jalen Hurts and his legacy? Now he's 1-1 and beating a Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, I hate to even put it out there, but we got to have a third match between the two of them. We got to have a Chiefs and Eagles between Mahomes and Mahomes and Jalen Hurts one more time. So we can see who the better of the two is. I want to see that. That's something I am very captivated and interested in. All right, gonna take a time out. We're gonna come right back with more of the show and touch a bit more about the big game and what's in store. And then we'll touch on the NBA and then get into some WWE as always. All right, stay close. This is the A-Train Show, Tuesday, big game WWE Raw Aftermath. On this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane, touching a bit more on the big game WWE Raw Aftermath. And one thing I forgot to mention was the impact of A.J. Brown in the game. A.J. Brown, and I think, like I said, it goes back to Saquon Barkley, but that's how they were able to open up to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts being the Super Bowl MVP. And that Chiefs win definitely solidified Jalen Hurts to be in the conversation of put him up in the top 10 elite quarterbacks of the league. He deserves to be there. That's not crow for me. I've seen the work of Jalen Hurts. It just took time for him to get better and better as a quarterback. And when I say this Eagle team have all the pieces, and I'm not saying that just because they have won the Super Bowl, they've had it. It's just about getting over the hump to get it. And now they have. But they have all the pieces defensively, offensively. The question is going to become, how is everything going to be stuck together coming in 2025 now, for this upcoming 2025 season? And you're the Kings. What's going on, Dre? Good seeing you, man. Hey, shout out to Dre Montez, man. He does a great show. Who's to Blame? I think it goes on an hour before me. And make sure you check him out on his page, Dre Montez. You can go to his X page. It's WTB Dre Montez on X. So definitely want to give him a shout out to, man. Thank you for tuning in. But listen, other than the game itself, everybody was talking about the halftime show. And this is all I'm going to say about the halftime show. A-Train was entertained. All right. Say whatever you want about me and what I like. Cool. But I know what I like. I was entertained by what I saw. And folk calling it mid, expected. There was a message, and folks went down with the message. The message was needed. That's all there was to it. I liked the parts with Samuel L. Jackson. I liked Serena Williams showing up because it was Pettyville for me. Those that know me know I like to take a trip to Pettyville a lot. Know I like to take a big trip down to Pettyville. And Kendrick went to that city. He went to Pettyville and Lola himself became the mayor of Pettyville. But what transpired during that show. And listen, there are hip hop heads that are thumbs down in it. Okay, cool. I was entertained by what I saw and then understood. As a matter of fact, my co-host broke it down for you on what transpired during the show. So if you get a chance, it is public knowledge. You can check it out yourself as Paige. And if you don't know who my co-host is, all you gotta do is look down at the bottom. Just watch the scroll. So that's all that needs to be said about that great show, in my opinion. And so here's the thing, though. This is all I want to say about the Serena situation. The Serena situation can be taken one or two ways. One, it can be taken as, you gotta remember, Serena's from Compton like Kendrick Lamar. The second is, that was Drake's ex. So that was shade thrown and allowing Serena to come out there and do what she did. So that was different ways you can look at that. So that I did listen, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it from both sides of the fence. Why certain people didn't understand it and certain people didn't like it. And for those that are in St. Louis, he is coming to St. Louis. So it's gonna be interesting to see who actually come out to that concert with him and SZA. SZA was a thank you, Jesus. It's almost like that. Beautiful. All right, beautiful. All right, that's enough to that. Going over into the NBA. Now, we're sitting here February 11th, 3 days before Valentine's Day. And where is the love for Nico Harrison, y'all? I'm saying he has lost all the love in the city of Dallas. I'm talking about they want him gone, like completely off earth. And I'm like, it does not take all of that. And speaking of which, I understand, folks, that we like to argue, we like to agree to disagree and stuff, but it never has to take a route. It never has to take a route where somebody wants to take somebody's life just because you don't agree with something that's being said. That's stupid. That's stupid, y'all. Come on now. We better than that. But I don't appreciate when I get friends of mine that is getting threats, death threats at that, off of a halftime show performance because they didn't care for it. They didn't understand it. So freaking what? So what? Let that go. And I've seen the comments. I've seen the pictures from people that I associate with, and they didn't like it themselves either. Who cares? Who cares? It don't need to go that route. It's too big of a time where we got to try and kill somebody just because they don't like what we say. Look, I understand it's a political time, but at the same time, man, listen, it ain't even that necessary. Real talk. But anywho, back to the story of the Dallas Mavericks. Like, I feel bad for Nico Harrison. The reason why I say that is because you went and swapped out a guy who's 25, 26, felt like he's undervaluing himself for your organization. And so you ship him off to the Lakers. And you did get Anthony Davis. And at first everything was going Dallas's way. Then the next thing you know, there's a non-contact injury. Like Anthony Davis pulled a groin or something. Like did he do something the night before with his lady or something? Man, like, where did this come from? And now he's out for a significant amount of time. Luka, along with LeBron and Austin Reeves. Now that's a guy I think that's going to benefit a lot from this trade. It's Austin Reeves. It's because I think a lot more is going to open up for him, especially when you got two guys on the floor like a LeBron who could be a facilitator and Luka Doncic, who was a facilitator, now being a shooter. He could be a scorer when he needs to. And if either of those two have an off night, Austin Reeves can come up and pick up the slack. So I think that benefits him a lot for this Laker lineup. Now, I know I don't talk a lot about the Lakers because I'm not a big fan of the Lakers, but I am seeing what I'm seeing with this team right now. And I think they were sitting at 4 or 5 in the NBA standings in the Western Conference. And right now is a good spot for them. Seat number 4. And what in the hell has happened to the Rockets? Rockets was doing so well, and now they have fallen from number 2 to number 5 in the West as the Thunder just keep sailing. But back to Anthony Davis. And Davis is these injuries, and it's going to lead to Nico Harrison really, if he's still around, to really think about what he's going to be able to do with Anthony Davis at this point, because Anthony Davis could sniff, and he's out for a significant amount of time. And Jeremy said he can sneeze and he'll blow out a knee. It's getting out of control here. Like it's the most bizarre. It's the most bizarre. He's the most bizarre player to me in the NBA. Got great skills. Like he can dominate a game when he's out on the floor. And then it's just these non-contact injuries. It's like he gets unlucky every single season. Like I don't think he'll ever play 82 games in a year because he can't stay healthy. And it's just bizarre to me. That's bizarre. And he's had a long tenured career. He's played, this is year 12, 13 for him now. So he's had a long tenured career. I'm not saying retirement is in the mix, but I'm pretty sure he wants to play probably 10 more years. Probably. He thinks he's going to have that lengthy of a career. And that's why I hate load management. Load management is the worst thing to me, because for those NBA fans that's looking to see their favorite players and they can't, because they have to sit out a game or two to rest and get themselves back in order. That's stupid. Anyway, but don't you want the fresh version of them? No. Remember, players play hurt all the time. So I just don't understand. And then they getting these big 30, 40, $50 million contracts a season. And in these days, athletes, it's more about brands than it is about the true athleticism, being out on the court, being out on the field. And I think that's what gets lost because of this social media era that we're in. It's all about being seen, but it's like we're paying for you to perform for us. Like we're paying you to entertain us. That's why we come out to see you guys. And I just find it very interesting that, you know, guys in different leagues, you can't do it in football, honestly, because you're playing once a week. But in the NBA, them guys can do it. In baseball, those guys can do it. You can have a guy play 4 times in a week and they have 7 games and they'll sit out a game that you want to come out and see them. It doesn't make any sense. And this is a team sport. You can't really do that in football because you'll have time to rest and get back into the game if you can. And because the injuries are so heavy in football, I never get it. I never understand it with the other leagues like that. But with Anthony Davis's case here, I'm hoping that he's able to get back and that this Dallas team can get into the playoffs because I want to see how far he can take this Dallas team because Dallas was the runner-up last year in the NBA Finals. And even though right now, as we're sitting, that the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East are on top of the standings, it's still Boston's league. You got to get past them first. And what was it last night? They hit 17, 18 threes because that's their game now. My thing is and that's the thing. I really dislike what has happened with the 3-point shot in the NBA because it's happened so much. And I get it. Steph Curry increased that because of how well he could shoot to the point where Damian Lillard is doing it. And not just about every player in the league. Like that's going to be your thing when you get into the NBA. Can you shoot a 3? It's like you're going to have to, I need to add more to the game because it's like you don't want to cheapen it, like adding a 4 or 5 point shot to the mix because people are shooting from logos half court anyway. You know what I mean? Like, but will that captivate or will that hurt the game even more? Because a lot of teams in the NBA depend on the 3-point shot because that is what the league is now. You're going to get 50 attempts in an NBA game. You know what I mean? So just wild stuff to me. All right. One more time out, take another time out and come right back. And then I'll touch on some WWE, what I've seen, especially in this case with Logan Paul and where he's headed. I think stay close. You'll see who I think that Logan Paul is going to be up against at WrestleMania. And it's not a championship match, but it's going to be a good one. Stay close. on this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. Thank you so much for tuning in on this big game WWE Raw Aftermath. All right, so I checked out. I didn't really get to see the entire show, but from what I did see is that, of course, we find out that Jey Uso has his opponent. It's Gunther. That was expected if you were paying attention to the Royal Rumble after what was at the press conference. Jey Uso pretty much said who he was going to go after. And the seeds were planted before Saturday night's main event. Part of me, and we've spoken about this on the program, a part of me wishes that they did not have that match at Saturday night's main event, because the buildup for it now would have been better than it was then. And what I mean by that is if Jey Uso did not challenge Gunther for that title, the storyline would be magnified. Like, then he can call him, then Gunther could go after Jey Uso the way that they have been. You know, he could really stick it to Jey Uso, and it can be that hero versus villain or the underdog against the unstoppable champion. But I think this match is really, in my opinion, is going to hurt both sides. And I mean, Gunther is going to get hurt from this, and Jey Uso might get hurt from this. And what I mean is Gunther losing to a Jey Uso diminishes his value as a future champion. And a lot of people have criticized Triple H for giving him the title so quick. The World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I understand that he is a World Heavyweight Champion. And I know they wanted to see him with the title. And here's my thing, though. Gunther is a best for business guy. He will do what's best for business. That's the thing. I wish it wasn't going in that manner. I wish it was going differently, where the Saturday night's main event, Gunther don't even fight for the title, but you had to have him fight because it's Saturday night's main event and it's supposed to be like a network version of a pay-per-view match. So, but they know WWE knows what they're doing. But what I'm upset with WWE about is AOP. Like, you couldn't find anything for AOP to do. You couldn't get them to take off the War Raiders, I guess, because the War Raiders is so hot right now. And the War Raiders were injured at some point. So it's like timing was bad. Like, you set him up with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is not doing anything except being a mouthpiece to other wrestlers and to turn them into dark pieces. And then you got Aleister Black coming into the mix. As I said, potentially. You got him coming in. It's going to diminish Karrion Kross again. If I'm Karrion Kross, I'm like, what am I doing here? I'd seriously be looking around. What you have me doing? I'm not doing anything. You don't have me in no matches for make any runs for any titles. Like, you don't even have me going against Braun Breaker because they see the value in Braun Breaker. They look at, again, it's about what's hot right now for WWE. And I think one of the better moves for them was to move the Wyatt Six to SmackDown because Alexa Bliss is over there. And I want y'all to understand this. Raw is being looked at as the flagship show. And they always considered it the flagship show, even though I disagree with it because how they treated SmackDown when they were on Fox. When they were on Fox, SmackDown was the flagship show. Raw was the secondary, the bald-headed stepchild. Because I don't think they ever treated Raw as a flagship. Granted, they were 3 hours, but when you on network television, in the time slot, granted that Friday was not the best time slot, but it was best for WWE standards. You're going to get a bigger audience there than you would on cable. So they got treated. Now they moved to Netflix on a streaming service. They're looking at Raw being the bigger audience than SmackDown now because SmackDown's on cable. And granted, there are millions of people that have cable, but you got to understand it's like 500 freaking channels. Everybody's watching something that ain't WWE on a Friday night. Like, that was made just for wrestling fans. So I guess my thing is with you have teams like with AOP, then you cut it Sonya Deville, like, Giovanni Vinci. I think he's going to TNA, and I think Sonya Deville should do the same. Because if this partnership is what I think it is, it's not going to hurt their WWE status because TNA still is working with WWE. Like, I think there's something bigger that could come from this, where at some point TNA invades WWE. That's something I can see happening. And that would be great for Survivor Series in 2025. Like, you really got to think big with that one. Because if they keep going big with other stuff, you let Joe Hendry come over as the TNA champion, right? At first you had Mickie James when she was the TNA Knockouts champion come over. That was the first thing, right? Then you had Jordynne Grace come over. Now she's part of WWE. And then you bring in Joe Hendry, who's got probably one of the best theme songs in wrestling today. I'm gonna answer that, Andrew. Give me just a second. I'm gonna answer that. So that helps me. That helps me because that was the end of the show. So Logan versus because I said I was gonna mention about Logan Paul too, but you're bringing all these guys, these people in, and these people getting released. I just think that it would be best if they go over there to TNA. If they do go over to AEW, well, kudos to you. I'm seeing what they're doing with Ricochet at this heel status, and him messing with Bun B was quite hilarious to me. But hey, you do what you got to do to make your money and make your mark. So that's what has to be done at this point. Speaking of, I spoke about Logan Paul before the break. The interaction between him and Punk, I think there's going to be a match between the two of them because of what happened at Royal Rumble. But that makes me want to believe, what in the hell was this favor? Was the favor for Punk to flip Roman's out, to dash his dreams? Was that the favor? Because it hasn't been spoken. We just keep trying to find out what in the hell is this favor. And I want to know what the favor is. Everybody wants to know what the favor is. And will it be known between now and WrestleMania? Will it happen at the Elimination Chamber? This ought to be interesting to see who the encounter between Logan Paul and CM Punk. If Paul eliminates CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber, I know what's up. Because the seeds have been planted, and Punk's interaction with Logan Paul brought some life to it, and things could come to a head at Elimination Chamber. So I'm very curious to see how far that will go. Andrew asked the question, what happened with Ray and the New Day after Raw went off? So apparently, soon as that was over, that match was over, New Day came out and started beating the crap out of Rey Mysterio. if I'm not mistaken, Ray and Dragon Lee beat the New Day the previous week. And so that was pertaining to that. I want to sit here and say like WWE keep missing, but I'm like, they know something I don't, because they are the ones in-house. They put all the stories together. You know, I don't know. Like, I think that like we've spoke about it before. Maybe it's a good thing that I don't know what the hell's happening. That I don't know. That I don't need to know what's going on. Because if I do know, I'm probably going to either be disappointed, I'm going to be excited, I'm going to want to tell it that it doesn't need to be told. So there's that. Happy Tuesday to you, Sabrina. That turned into be a YouTube exclusive. So it was after it was over. You know how like Kevin Owens was able to do late stuff that was only meant for YouTube and all that. And speaking of Kevin Owens, I don't want to see Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn again. Granted, that could be, I understand it's a great match, but I don't need to see that at WrestleMania. You want to do it at Elimination Chamber? Fine. Cool. I'd rather you do it there. Both of them are Canadian, so that may be in the cards. Maybe in Toronto. I would not be mad about that. But WrestleMania, absolutely not. I honestly do not want Jay and Gunther. But we're going to get it, because I think for Mania, Cody's going to have to go through a whole nother thing again. But this time to keep his championship. I don't think they're taking the belt off of Cody Rhodes. Not yet. At worst, he'll lose it at SummerSlam. I think it'd be better to lose it at SummerSlam in New York. As long as everything goes to plan on what they want to do. I don't think he loses it at Mania, because more than likely he's going to be on night 2. I don't think they're going to have him do 2 matches either. But as long as it's at Elimination Chamber, don't need to be anywhere else but there, because they'll tear the house down in Toronto, and a lot of that will be considered, that's match of the night. No doubt about it. It's a match between friends, and I think they can definitely do that. So as of now, as we get into the Elimination Chamber, we got 4 people, with 2 more left before the March 1st date in Toronto. So far it's Cena, who didn't even have to fight to get in it. Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. Those are the 4 so far on the men's side. And then Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexis, and Bayley. I'm very interested to seeing if Roman Reigns get into this match. This Elimination Chamber, because this is for the undisputed WWE title. It's going to be interesting. Since we know the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania, now we're trying to figure out who's going to be in the undisputed WWE title match. That could be interesting. If Roman is in, you could play this in different ways. If Roman is in the Elimination Chamber match, because I feel like he's going to be in it with, he's going to either do something at Chamber or he's going to do it in one of the qualifying matches. Somebody's going to get taken out and then he's going to be inserted into the match. That's how I look at that. If he's involved, if he's in the Elimination Chamber, he's not going to have a match. He's going to involve himself in the match. And then he asks, does Roman do the favor for Punk? He ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice, man. He ain't got no choice, dude. Because he wants that WWE championship back. But you got to do the favor, man. And how long are this going to be drawn out about this favor, dude? Like, what is this favor? Like, you have to. I don't need finger poke of doom crap. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need it to be legitimate, like a true legitimate favor. Like, I don't want to be upset at Triple H like I was at WCW for a long time with that finger poke of doom. It's crazy to believe that's been 26 years since that happened. So, it's gonna be crazy. On the lady side, I think I seen something between. I seen was it Lila Valkyria and Bayley going at it, and they had a pretty good match. So it'll be interesting to see. Said payback on Raw. And I'm thinking where we're headed with him. I think where we're headed with him is going to be Roman versus Punk. I mean, Roman versus Seth Rollins. I think we were headed to Roman versus Seth at Mania. This is now. It's sad that I'm putting that on the Mania card, and I'm like, I don't want Kevin and Sammy on the Mania card, but I think it was because it's in Toronto is the reason why I would want Kevin versus Sammy there, because they're both Canadian. And I think the Canadian audience will love that more than anything. Whereas Seth and Roman would do well at Mania. You'll have Punk versus Paul. It's early speculation. I'm not saying that this is what it is. If we sit right here, because it's definitely could change next week after what is being seen. Logan Paul versus CM Punk would be in a match. I would put with New Day get in a match. I just would have them. I don't know. I would need Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania. Especially in Vegas. Would I do anything to get Jade the title, though? That's what's going to be the key thing. Because I would love to see Jade. Who Logan Paul getting? Who would Logan Paul? Yeah, a triple threat match would sound good at Mania. But I think Roman versus Seth that's been captivating. And Punk and Paul inserting himself, especially what Punk did to, or what Paul did to Punk. Yep, and you know what? I think that's where we're headed. I really think that's where we're headed. I think that's where we're headed, Cena and Cody. Now the question is going to become, does Cena walk away with the title, or does Cody go over? I don't think Logan Paul you think Logan's getting Penta? Is it because him going after these luchadors is why you think that Logan Paul is getting Penta? That would be an awesome match, though. If we're gonna be honest, that'd be a great match because you want a high flyer and then you want somebody that's already renegade and is hot now. So that does look good. Cena should lose at Mania. Yeah, Cena should lose at Mania. Yeah, they are. Chad Gable is a very strong heel. And he had a great match. Them two had a great match together. So it'd be interesting to see what happens at this point. I would not disagree with that. I think Chad's going to get a title opportunity. Either it's Intercontinental. Yeah. I think he's going to get one of them title opportunities. I think he's going to get Braun Breaker. He got to have his WrestleMania moment. Nobody would expect him to. He'd be the underdog in this case, even though he's the heel. To the same person is what you're saying? Cena wins, drops next night or following pay-per-view to the same person? Well, then they're going to have a celebration for him the next night. So it probably would have to be the following pay-per-view. All right. A lot got a chance discussing. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it in an hour's time, but I did. All right. So, yeah, it's over, but I'm not tired yet. So, I'll catch y'all on Thursday. We're going to do this thing once again right here on Fuel Sports Network, okay? Thank you to everybody that tuned in, and thankful to our great friends over at Philip Johnson Salon and Spa, also McDougal Bats and Just Meat Jerky. All right. So we'll see y'all on Thursday. Yeah, see you on Thursday. Same time, same bat channel. I only can do it for an hour. But yeah, we'll see you then. Special show Wednesday with the X-Band show. We'll see y'all then.